link in the chat box for me too, will you?
The link for what?
The Insider's Cart. Isn't that it? Insider Cart? I think that's it. Hey, this is David Perdue at MyNAMS.com and the Novice to Advanced Marketing System, and this is the MyNAMS Lifetime Launch Party, which is actually a disguised name for some really cool free training about a launch. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 10 days, you know that we have been doing a launch for the MyNAMS Lifetime Insiders Club. And what we've been doing is following the launch process. Now, we don't do launches. We've never done a launch. We have had a lot of products in our system, and we have had a lot of, in fact, last year we had 553 products. We didn't have time to do any launches. But what we did do was sell products a lot, and we would do quick sales. 3-day sale, a weekend sale. We would have an event like a December deals where we did something every day, and that would build and do really well. December is usually everybody's worst month of the year. It was always my best. And then we would do Black Friday. We would do, I think we did a Spring Fling sale last year. So we always had an event type sale, and I like event type sales. So when you study launches, what you find is that people turn those into an event. That's what makes them successful, is turning those into an event. So we've gathered a lot of folks to talk about launches and about the Insiders Club, because the result of this event is actually to be able to get people to take a look at the Insiders Club and understand what the Insiders Club is. Now, this thing is very special tonight. It is live only. It is going to be a live-only webinar, and we are going to give it to our insiders on the Insiders Club, but we are not going to have a replay of it, which is a little bizarre. We never do that. But the truth is, we're going to do that for a couple of reasons. One is, this is behind the scenes, looking at our numbers, looking at the process that works. I'm going to tell you straight up where the mistakes were, what our process was in the beginning, and how we've done really well and how we've blown it. So and I'm going to tell you straight up that we do that all the time in the Insiders Club. A lot of people said that they have an Insiders Club. When you're in the NAMS Insiders Club, you get to see behind the scenes in the NAMS business. And that's one of the things that we try to do every week with our insiders, is show them behind the scenes of how we run our business, because you can learn from that. And if people hide that stuff from you, you can't learn from it. So we're all about you learning from what we do. So first thing I want to do is introduce the people that are online here with us. I'm going to go across the bottom left to right, and it's my left, so you may see people differently, but I have Cindy Badar, who is, what are you, Cindy? You're like the chief bottle washer around here, the chief operations officer.
I'm pretty sure you bestowed upon me the title of operations manager.
Oh yeah, I did. That's right.
Yes, but you said it didn't come with a raise, so.
That's right. I did say that too. No raise for Cindy, but Cindy's the one who gets everything done for us and makes sure that the support desk works, and she has a whole team of people that works with us too. Then we have Jeff Herring. You guys, if you've been around at all, you know Jeff Herring. And Jeff, tell people what you do.
I have so much fun teaching content creation, content marketing, turning your content into information products, and cash in on your content.
Come closer to your mic because you were breaking up.
How's that?
That's much better.
Okay. You want me to say that again?
I do.
Okay, I will. I have so much fun teaching people how to create content, turn that content into online visibility, traffic generation, list building, and then cashing in on their content by turning that content into information products.
Excellent. I'm going to come back to you in a little bit, and we're going to have a conversation about Adam in just a few minutes, okay?
Okay. Adam who?
You know who Adam is.
I know.
Jennifer, tell people who you are.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Perdue, and I am the Director of Marketing and Sales for NAMS.
And heir apparent.
Yes. I used to be the operations manager, but yay, now Cindy is going to be our operations manager. So I'm newly back here at NAMS, was here about 2 years ago, and am back in a different capacity. So we'll hopefully be working with everybody in the Insiders Club pretty frequently.
Yep, that's great. Thanks. John, tell people who you are.
All right, hey everybody. I'm basically the producer of this event. I'm a Hangout guru and the guy who helps David with his Hangouts and Webinar Jam.
Excellent.
Excited to be here.
Thanks. Karen, tell people who you are.
I'm Karen King, and I am a personal development and life coach, and I just help people to stop walking backwards through life and turn around and face it. And I am also a well, David is my coach, so.
Well, I'm a coach, and you're also an elite member. And,
yes, I am.
And you also are an elite members or lifetime insiders, so
yes,
that's cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kathleen, peeking over the edge there. Talk to us,
Can you not
Kathleen.
see me? I think I need to stand up. Okay.
There, that's better. Stand up, Kathleen.
You jumped from Karen all the way to Kathleen. What happened to all the 4 people in between?
That's what I was saying. It was left to the right on my screen.
Oh, okay. Well, there's 3 people. I'm seeing double. Okay. Well, at this time of the day, what do? No, actually, I'm Kathleen Gage, and I am with Power Up for Profits. And in a nutshell, I help experts to package their information into money-making products and services, including books, information products, and speaking engagements.
Thanks. You're up.
Hey, Kelly McCausey from solosmarts.com, where I help solopreneurs make money from their smarts.
Thank you, Kelly. And Lou.
Hey, I'm Lou Bartone, and I'm an exile of the TV business, and now I teach video marketing and follow my son around the country while he plays baseball.
Cool. That's a lot of fun. And Paul, he who must not be named.
What? My name is no name. My name is Paul Taubman, and I'm here to learn a lot about launches, share my experiences. I help people make money with their websites, and elite member, lifetime insiders, and general tackle guy, I guess.
I'm General Tackle Guy. That's the dude. Yep. Tim Maudlin.
Hi, Tim Maudlin with T-shirts that inspire. I'm insider, also, let me see, mug maker for the insiders.
Mug maker.
Yep. Everybody likes me once a month. Glad to be here tonight.
Thanks, Tim. Okay, so I've been talking about this launch now. We modeled our launch after the Jeff Walker product launch formula model. And I'm going to show you just quickly the launch process that we used, and then we're going to dive in and talk about some other people's launches. I know that Kelly just did a launch. I know Kathleen did a big launch last year of Power for Profits, right? Mm-hmm. And we'll talk a little bit about all of those as we go and ask other people about their experiences with launches too. And but here is the process that we built out. And if you know me, you know I love pictures. And I like to draw pictures and create processes and all of that. And what you're seeing on the screen here is basically the launch process that we use. Now, I started this about 6 weeks ago. And I will tell you up front that I wish I had done it about 12 weeks ago, because 6 weeks is a short period of time to pull off a launch. So there's 4 phases to a launch that I think there's 4 phases to a launch. The first is the coming soon, and that is kind of the pre-launch. We called it the coming soon. Jeff Walker says that this, believe it or not, is probably the most important part, if there is a most important part, of the launch process, and that's the pre-launch. And the pre-launch is basically building the buzz, letting people know that it's coming, and also testing the market to see if the market is really ready for what you're going to give them. So it consists basically of sending out content, videos, doing some engagement at Facebook, social media, other places, driving to opt-ins, getting confirmations, and building your list. Now, on the Insiders Club this month, we're doing a lot of list building. That's our challenge this month, is list building. And you'll notice that this launch is all about list building until you open the cart, which we have just done. The cart is open at nams.ws/insidercart, and that is highlighted in the chat box. Let's see. somebody says that the banner is hiding the bottom of the screen so you can't see it. So let me see if I can turn that off. Does that, I don't think that actually does anything, does it? It might. The bottom of this is the launch party hangout. You should be able to see that. And now, so the left part I said was the coming soon, the pre-launch. Then you go into the pre-launch, which is all about the videos and the opt-ins for the pre-launch. Now, Jeff's model is to use 3 opt-in pages, and he suggested lead pages, and we use lead pages as well. It's new to us. We're using lead pages now. And so we ran 3 opt-ins, and I'll show you what those are in a little bit, to a confirmation, to an email confirmation, and then they drove, after you opted in, to the videos, to video 1. Then video 1 had a call to action to the micro workshop, which was last Thursday. That worked great. Then we released, that was on 7/13. Then we released on 7/17 video 2. Then we released on 7/19 video 3. And that was the launch, that led to the launch party. So that's a pretty fast timeline. You're supposed to leave 3 to 4 days between each video. We cut that short on the last one. And then you open the cart at the launch. And that's what we're doing today. So that's what all of this part is, and that's what we're doing today. So this piece, if you follow along with that, there's a lot of changes that we made through that process, and we're going to talk about that as we go. But we got some people here who might not be able to stay long, and I want to make sure that we get them to tell us what their experience is with launches as well. And you know, Kathleen, if you can kind of raise up in your chair a little bit so we can see you.
Let me try this.
I want to ask you about your Power Up for Profits. Yeah, there you go. That's
okay. Okay.
Now, last year you did Power Up for Profits, right?
So.
Sorry, say it again?
If I stand up, you'll be looking at my belly button. So.
Oh, sorry. Well.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Trust me. Okay. So, what is the question?
So last year, wasn't it last year that you did Power Up for Profits, and you did a pretty big launch with that?
Actually, believe it or not, we're going on 2 years ago. It was July of 2013. It was with the release of my book, Power Up for Profits, The Smart Woman's Guide to Online Marketing. And it's interesting because we chose that subtitle specific to a launch for women, even though men had bought the book and they like it. But the book actually was a piece of the launch. It was leading into an event that we did, and the event generated, within a few months, it was about $250,000. And so there were several levels that took place in the launch. There was pre-book launch, which included, we did an expert series, and really the model that you showed, the Jeff Walker model, what you just showed everybody, I hope they appreciate this, is a $2,000 model that if you buy his program, it all drills down to exactly what you just showed, because there's the announce that you're going to be doing something, there's the pre-launch, there's the launch, there's the post-launch. And with ours, we did quite a bit to build a list that was going to lead into people buying the book during a specific period of time. The objective that we had was to make the book a bestseller on Amazon, and it wasn't the old model of the Amazon campaigns that I actually at one point was one of the people that taught that, and I got hired to do it. But it was really using a strategic process to drive traffic to certain pages on certain days, lead them into another level of a launch, and ultimately get them to a live event in Portland, Oregon. And then after the fact, enroll people in my high-end coaching program. So there were probably 6 or 7 different levels of what that launch included.
And that was over what period of time?
It was probably over a period of about 6 to 8 months.
Right. So people got into your system and moved through that with you. That was like a year's worth of work, is what you were talking about.
Easily. And the thing that I really want to emphasize to people is don't try to go from 0 to 60 overnight. Start right where you are. A lot of people say, well, I don't have the team to support me, I don't have this, I don't have that. Start with one thing that you can launch. And test it out and try things out. Look at the model that David's showing you today and see how you can adjust it to where you are right now. If you don't have a full team, that's okay. There's things that you can still do. The very first launch I did was probably in about 1998, quite some time ago, in 98 or 99. And what I did on that one was I went out and got affiliates that helped with a product launch. We went through ClickBank. We did the whole thing of list building. After the fact, we drove them somewhere else. So basically, a launch, if you want to do it right, you have to give yourself time to plan it out. I could show you my whiteboard right now, but I'm not going to because it's intellectual property, and I've got a full launch for my next event mapped out on the board. And I had a team meeting this morning, and so the key to all of this is try not to fly by the seat of your pants. Not that anybody on this expert panel has ever done that.
No.
None of us fly by the seat of our pants. But seriously, I think we all have. And what you'll find is when you step back and you really lay out a plan and you get strategic and you look at what's your end result that you're looking for and you do reverse engineering based on that end result. And you really put checkpoints in place that you can do a check and balance to make sure that you're on target with what you're trying to accomplish. And the big thing that I would recommend to people is be willing to take risks, be willing to put yourself out there, and you have to build a list. You can have the greatest launch product in the world, but if nobody knows about it, it's going to fail.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for that. Your experience watching you go through that launch, and I remember getting the commitment and the email, or me committing to do the emailing for you and all of that through that launch piece, was part of what we missed in our launch. So, you know, this being the first one that we've done, I think that we learned a lot of things that we can apply to other things. And I actually have another one coming up in September that we're starting now that I don't think Jennifer even knows about yet.
Hey, Jennifer, guess what? You have a launch in September. Just thought you might want to know.
Yeah.
It's the story of my life.
It is. It's something special, near and dear to my heart that I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be in, actually not September, October. So that should make you feel better.
Well, David, I'd like to add something. When you do your first launch, document everything and put SOPs in place, standard operating procedures, because you'll find that if you can come up with a checklist, one that virtually anybody could pick up and learn from, and they could use it as is, then you're going to be on track for your next launch. In each launch, you're going to learn something from it, you're going to tweak it. And I really would say that my greatest mistake that I make in launches is not giving myself enough time. I think that we're all very creative people. That's the thing about entrepreneurs. We pride ourselves in how creative we are, and we run in all different directions with ideas, and you have to discipline yourself, and you have to make sure that you're staying focused on the end result.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were doing when we were trying to build this out, because as I said, you know, this was the first one for us, and I expected us to have a lot of rough road, but I thought 6 weeks was a lot of time because we usually operate on 1 week, and to tell the truth, to do something like this, we really needed at least 12 weeks for this. But I also figured out that we are always going to be in the list building mode for our next launch, whatever that is. And you know, if you can do 3 launches a year or 2 launches a year even, I think that's a really aggressive goal. Now, one of the reasons I think launches are important for us to talk about, and we've never talked about this in the Insiders Club before, is that everybody's going to have to do one at some point. I don't care what business you're in. It's really important that you focus on a way to do this process so that you have an event. What you're talking about is having a sales event, and that's what the whole thing is. So Kathleen, before I go away from you, you've been part of the Insiders Club for, well, since we started the Insiders Club.
A long time.
Yeah.
And I'm getting older, yes.
And
yes, I have been.
And you respond well. When people tag you in there, you're in there picking up and answering questions and doing what you can, and we really appreciate you doing that. You've had a lot of dedication in there. Thank you.
My pleasure. And you know, one of the things that I know to be true is the more that we help other people, the more people are going to help us. And you know, one of the things that you've done with your community, David, is you have attracted people who, that's part of our value system, is we like to help other people. One thing to keep in mind is when you do tag somebody, we might not respond right away because maybe we're not on Facebook for the day, maybe we've taken the weekend off, and yet we will get around to it as quickly as possible, because I know for myself, I enjoy giving input based on what my experience is. And you have to take the information for what it's worth. We all have our experience. We've all succeeded at whatever level we've succeeded at. And so take what we give you, take and use what works for you, and then let go of the rest. You don't have to apply everything, but you do have to apply something, and you have to be willing to take risks. And that's the thing that I really want to encourage people to do, is look at the information that's being offered to you, because a lot of us in our coaching practices, we require people invest a lot of money in our expertise, and so we're more than happy to share our knowledge and our experience.
Well, you've built a lot of good relationships there too. So
Absolutely.
I've watched you do that. It's been really good to see how you are connecting with people.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to flip over to Kelly. Kelly, you just had a launch that was, what, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago?
Yeah, between 3 and 4 weeks.
And it was your big tree income launch, and that was the thing that you are really building your entire brand around now. Tell people what that was.
Well, I've always taught something I call the big tree business philosophy, where you choose a community, you sink your roots deep, and then you grow branches that serve needs in that community. Some branches are you serving the needs on your own. Some branches you're making recommendations through affiliate links, but lots of branches creates a big healthy tree with lots of reliable income that you can then build a tree house in and hang a swing from and live happily ever after.
You got that whole metaphor going, don't you?
Yep. Yep.
So what I want to get back to before we get away from that is the big tree income thing is actually a way for you to build a lot of income streams, that is passive income coming to you, correct?
Yeah. It's interesting that we're talking about launches, because big tree income, my style of big tree income has nothing to do with launches.
Right.
But then I tried to do a launch
and
to launch the product. Wah, wah, wah.
And so your launch didn't go as well as you'd hoped.
No. I had huge dreams of making lots and lots and lots of sales. I built up a lot of buzz. I would say the most successful phase of my launch was that advanced buzz phase.
Yep.
Because everybody knew it was coming. Everyone was asking me about it. That was very successful. And that was mostly done with Facebook ads. But I was counting on being able to excite affiliates. I created an affiliate competition with big prizes, all based on performance, and I just had this vision of getting lots and lots of affiliates competing and promoting and offering bonuses, and that I would just sit back and watch the sales roll in, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Well, sales rolled in, but you didn't get as many sales as you wanted.
Right.
You didn't hit your goal.
Right. No. Altogether, from start to finish, I at this point I hit 20% of my goal.
And so tell people why you think that is.
I reached out individually and asked people to promote, and some people said yes, some people said no, not right now, it doesn't work out for me. Some people said yes, they would promote, and they did a little bit. But overall, it was very slow going, and I made a big mistake when you showed that launch process. I wanted to try things a little differently. I wanted to do the video sequence, but I wanted to do it kind of squished together so that the videos were actually playing while the cart was open as opposed to before it. And that was dumb.
Now explain that again. Tell how that's different from what we're doing here.
Well, you're supposed to use the videos to build leads.
Right.
People come and opt in to watch the videos, or watch the video and opt in for a freebie, which was what my plan was. I had 5 videos, 5 freebies, 5 days, and that worked. I got a lot of leads, but I ran it during the window that the cart was open. And so if you've opted in for the first video and you know there are 4 more videos coming, are you going to buy? No. You're going to wait for the other videos. And it was really foolish. I didn't think it through. And yeah. So
yeah, you really wanted to add content and add value. That's what you were really focused on.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's really the way you do things. That's one of the things we love about you is you're always about adding content and adding value. But I agree that the videos really kind of confused the issue when you were building, when you already had the cart open and you were then trying to give the value after the cart was open. So.
Yeah. So there were things that worked. The videos worked as far as developing relationships. People were so responsive. I received so many personal notes as people watched the videos and heard my story. Unbelievable support in that way. Very engaging, which is great. But for a launch,
yeah.
You know, warm, cozy feelings, new friends. I love all of it. But it did not translate into sales in that tight window.
So would you do another launch?
Not like that.
And I know the answer to this question. Will you do another affiliate contest?
No. Well, I love affiliate competitions, but one after another, the affiliates told me, the competition doesn't really mean that much to me. You know, I'm going to promote it if I think it's a great fit for my people. Your prizes are great. You know, it'll be a little fancy, cool thing, but nah, it's not what really drives me. So that was a lot of time in setting that up that was wasted.
Yeah. And I won it, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, so Kelly, you've been around a long time.
David,
Kathleen?
but I just want to say, Kelly, congratulations for doing it, because you've done what 99% of the people have not done, and you admitted you made some mistakes. You've learned from it. So, you know, I have to say that well, I don't want to say you've got balls of steel, but I'm going to. You know, it's like, you know, you're a woman with balls. I love that. But the reality is that you did what most people talk about doing, but they don't do it, and you learned a lot from it, and you did make the sales. And so next time around, you just tweak here and there, and you'll have a bigger success. So congratulations on that. And I do have to run. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kathleen. Appreciate it.
Kathleen.
You bet.
Okay, so I wanted to come back over here to this launch process again, and I'm going to ask Cindy to come on here in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk a little bit about this for just a second and what we discovered as we went through. Jennifer just texted me. She has a thunderstorm where she is and had to drop off. So, not drop off, she got kicked off. Her internet died while she was doing it, so nothing we can do about that. Okay, so Cindy. We did this, and if you remember correctly, we had this whole coming soon thing where we were building the list, and we're using Infusionsoft now, right? So that's been a learning curve for us as well.
Yes, it is.
But what we figured out for our Infusionsoft piece of this whole thing was getting the campaigns in place so that we have all of the tagging in place. We had to really scramble in the beginning to get the right tagging in place for that, right?
Yeah, it can be really overwhelming, just because there's a lot of different things, a lot of different pieces that you want to track, a lot of different, a lot of different campaigns running, and all of the tags tend to get jumbled together, and you're making tags and I'm making tags, and nobody knows what tag is for what. So yeah, there's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, so we ended up doing a lot of rebuilding in our system so that system actually, so that we had to go back through and clean up a lot of stuff in the beginning as we saw the complications. And I think, what was it, like 2 weeks before we decided to do this launch, we actually migrated from Customer Hub into Membarium. That was a month-long process.
And we had that whole thing going on too. We were still cleaning up from moving from a member into Infusionsoft, so we were still scrambling to get people moved over there properly, and then we decided to move from Customer Hub into Membarium. So yeah, it was kind of messy.
It was messy, but my point, and the thing that I wanted to get to people about this, is that when you have this process in place, it's always going to be messy. Everything you do is always going to be messy, and you just, what is it? Oh crap, I forget the saying, but Alex has a saying. Alex Mandossian has a saying about the mess. I'll think of it later, but it's like an imperfect mess is better than a perfect nothing, something like that. And it's about just going ahead and getting it done.
And that's why you have the team part of the insiders too, right?
That's right. That's right. So actually, the insiders were very helpful in helping us with the going through this process and actually vetting it, because they've seen the behind the scenes when it was just an idea. I actually built our project plan on an insiders Q&A call. We did that with a Hangout, so that's how we got started there. Now, when we did the pre-launch part and we had the opt-ins in place, I'm going to show people what those opt-ins were. Here's one of them, and the second one, and here's the third. Now, these opt-ins basically this is kind of a long style two-step button. So access the video now, you click the button and you go over, you opt in. This one is basically just this is a video behind this opt-in page, and so we were testing video as an opt-in getter, and this is the one that Jeff Walker said worked best for him, was his highest conversion piece. So we tried to use that one. It was maybe our lowest conversion one. This one is what's called a video fake out page. It's a picture with a button on it. You click the button and it takes you to an opt-in box, and people get the opt-in box, and then they go to the video. So this is the one that got the most conversion. And we got 28% on this video fake out page, and on this one I think it was like 14, and on this one it was like 20%. And this was basically the long copy opt-in page. What we found out though was, because we had the video page with a call to action, and I think I show that here. Yeah, here's the call to action button. Click here to register for the free Life Micro Workshop. And this video was a 10-minute defining moment video. And this converted at almost 60% once people were on the inside. So we went back to our process, and I said, we're going to get rid of the opt-ins, because we're actually gating it before people get to the video, and we can get the opt-in on the video when we send them to the call to action here. And that's what we did. I got some pushback from you, Cindy. You said that's not the way other people are doing it.
I said that's not the way it's laid out in the book, David.
That's not.
You're not following the instructions.
Which I have been accused of doing before, not following the instructions. But what happened was we got much better conversions, right? And it made a lot of sense. So we adapted because of the results that we were getting. Now, that's an important thing, is to be able to understand your results and look at your results and be able to tweak as you are going through the process. So if we watch the conversions along the way, we were able to make some selections and some changes quickly. So the first thing we did was we eliminated the lowest opt-in page, So let's say that was opt-in A. We got rid of opt-in A. We kept B and C and added video 1 as one of our 3 opt-in options. So we actually had 3 opt-in pages still that we were split testing. And it was, let's say, opt-in B, opt-in C, and video 1. So which of those 3 were giving us the most conversions? And it was a no-brainer. The video 1 was giving us more conversions. So we just dumped all of the opt-ins completely. And then we started building campaigns that drove into the video pages. Because we had the call to actions in place, it worked out pretty well. Now, we'll talk about the videos and how the video drop-off and the call to actions may have been misplaced or put in the wrong order, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Jeff, I'm coming to you. Because you need to unmute. There you go.
We're off now.
Yeah. So you've done launches and participated in launches along the way.
Yes.
Have you done a launch like this one where it's been over a 3-month period?
No, never have.
Okay. Your launches have been mostly 2 to 3 week periods, right?
Correct.
But you've participated in other people's big launches like this.
Right.
So tell me what your experience has been with that, and how do you feel participating in one of those launches?
Being a part of the launch is an enjoyable thing to be part of it. And when I do launches in the future, I will take more time. I will put more time into it and do it over a longer period of time, as we were talking about earlier, even as long as 12 weeks.
Yeah, so 12 weeks is really pretty short, believe it or not, for something that's going to be big and deliver. I was really kind of, we don't, like I said, we did 6 to 7 weeks, and I was really shocked at how little that time was by the time we really got moving through it. Jeff, one of the things I wanted to talk about was Adam.
Right.
Let's talk about, for a second, how that came about and how quickly you were able to turn that around with a kind of a mini launch that you did. It was
it was a very mini launch, because it came about. You and I, see, folks, David and I are good friends, twin sons of different mothers. David's also a very, very good coach. So David and I were having a conversation one morning about different ideas, and he tossed out the idea for me to give people a taste of my mentoring program for a month. Okay, that's where the name Adam comes from, a taste of mentoring. Is that an Alabama cup you keep drinking out of?
It is.
I have
championship cup, man.
I have to find something for FSU around here.
All right. Alabama National Championship.
2017, we opened the season against each other.
Yeah, no.
So anyway, Adam stands for a taste of mentoring, and that was a happy accident. We just started calling it a taste of mentoring, and then I started to put the acronym in a subject line once, and I went, oh, cool, Adam. But David and I had that conversation in the morning about giving people a taste of mentoring, where they had a group session and a time they could call in and get like 10 minutes with me. Well, I launched it that afternoon, so we're talking about hours of a pre-launch, okay? And it took off. Ran that first group through, and what it delivered was really over-delivered for a month. Each week, people would receive a 3-hour group coaching, and then a 3-hour window they could call in, talk to me with a question for 10 minutes, and email questions. Okay, and so that, in a way, that first group became a launch for the rest of my community, because a lot of buzz came from that. People were talking about it. People were asking questions about it. So we did group 2, and then group 3 was right before the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
That was the biggest group, about 50 people in it. And I made a lot of mistakes doing this, and I want to share them, because what I did is I started that third group, took the Christmas break, and then another one started in January. So there was a couple weeks in January where I was doing 2 of those things, and that was crazy, because the intention was to give people a taste of mentoring and then move them up the ascension ladder. The good thing is many of those people did move up my ascension ladder, to the extent that it was significant in providing the best end of year I'd ever had and the best beginning of a year I'd ever had, because people were ascending. Finished that 4th group, I believe in February. Tim is part of that, and one of the next levels up, we called it Add an Elite, okay, where we they paid $97 for a month, and now Adam Elite was going to be $97 a month ongoing. Okay, and we funneled all the people into there. And in the spring, I made a decision, partly to give myself a break and partly to rework this. Took the summer off from doing any other 1 month Adams, and we're spending the summer focused on Adam Elite, really serving that group of people that have graduated into that, of which Tim's a member. The thing I learned is you can actually this is the second time I've learned this, you can actually over deliver.
Yep.
To the point where your service delivery becomes exhausting. Now, part of what I'm doing in the summer here is deciding whether I'm going to do a 1 month Adam again. Now, if I do, it will be very different than the other one, not as much service delivery, probably a higher price point. One of the good things that's come out of it is I now have a nice ongoing, really it's a continuity program at $97 a month with a whole bunch of folks in it, in Adam Elite because it's ongoing. And basically what I've got to do is show up twice a month and answer questions, okay? And then take a few phone calls, which I did earlier tonight, and spend 10 minutes with people. So that service delivery is nice, okay? The service delivery in the middle was what was a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, so I want to go all the way back to the beginning and talk about how you were watching numbers in the beginning. You know, we talked about, I think we talked in the morning, and it was on a Friday morning, and you called me and said, you know, I want to get more people into my mentoring program, but I'm not exactly sure how to do that at the higher level. And so we talked about a lead-in into that, and we came up with this $197 price for your mentoring, or for this monthly deal, just 1 month. Give people a taste of it. Just 1 month, $197. You sent out an email, I think, and you got 5 people on that. Is that correct, if I remember correctly?
Correct. Very good memory.
Yeah, and so then we talked again for another 15 or 20 minutes, and I said, okay, drop the price. Let's see what happens if you drop the price to $97, and you got like 20 or 30.
Yeah, that was the magic number.
So that was your price. The market was telling you what the price was. And then you were concerned about the people who paid the $197. And at that point, what did you do?
You know what? I don't remember.
I do.
Do you? Good. Refresh my memory.
You
we worked out some kind of deal with them, I know, to take care of.
You did. So you went back to them.
What did I do?
And you offered to give them $100 off or $100 toward your template system.
Right.
And I think everybody took you up on the $100 credit.
Yeah, everybody did the $100 towards.
Yeah.
And they all felt well taken care of. One person couldn't stop thanking me that I got out ahead of that, and emailed her and said, okay, here's what we're doing. Here are your choices. They were stunned that somebody took that good care of them.
So the launch process that you did is actually this launch process. It was condensed in 1 day, though.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
I mean, it really was, because you got the buzz out, you started building the list, you went into your list, and then you opened it up to an affiliate program. So, you know, you started getting more people in, and it kept building and kept getting more and more momentum as you were going. So.
Yeah, and it's what's happened is several of the students in that program, they're now doing that as an entry into their mentor program. I have one woman doing, it's called, now this is a sexy title, okay, you ready for this?
Yep.
It's called Taste of Grant Writing.
Taste of Grant Writing? Oh my God.
Okay, but it's working for her, you know? So this model, a taste of, works.
Yep.
One other thing before we go. Speaking of Tim being in there and his T-shirts that inspire, we went so far as to do something really cool like this.
Oh.
Adam Elite T-shirts. So people even got T-shirts out of it.
Excellent. Very nice. Very
Thank
nice.
you, Tim.
Very nice. Okay, so we got some people asking some questions here in the sidebar that I want to address. And let's see. If I come down here, I'm seeing. So Sherry says, so it's interesting to hear all the issues and considerations when doing a launch. Great transparency and information. You're welcome. And then Phil says, tough questions. I see you have 55 attendees here. Is that an acceptable number given all the steps you went through, especially given the average conversion factor? So we're going to talk about, I'm going to come back to my screen here, and I'm going to show you the, and give you some numbers, because what happened was our conversion plummeted through our videos. We had, I think we had our call to actions reversed, is what I think. And I wouldn't have guessed this, but now that I know, I know. So here is the screen again. Just one second. Okay, so you are seeing the process again. Video 1 got a gazillion looks. I mean, we had a couple of thousand people on that, and at a 60% conversion rate, that was really good. The call to action on that was this. Let me find it. Here it comes. Where did I put it? I thought I put it in here. Maybe I didn't put it in here. Well, the call to action was, from this video, was to our micro workshop. And that was the 4-hour micro workshop we did last Thursday. And we drove, we had almost 700 people registered for that workshop. And Jennifer was watching the numbers, and in that 4-hour social media workshop that the insiders will get, and the people who registered for that will get it, the conversion number on that was amazing, because that was a 4-hour workshop, 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening or afternoon, and we lost 4 people out of about 400 in the morning. We lost 4 people over that 2-hour period. So they were completely engaged, they stayed, and we served a lot of content in that. The second thing, the second afternoon, had about half the number in the second afternoon, and that always happens in these micro workshops. But the second afternoon, we lost 1 person out of a couple of hundred in that afternoon session. People were still engaged, still stayed, loved content, right? And the reason that I really wanted to do that was because I wanted to show the kind of training that we do in the Insiders Club. I wanted the people to see the kind of stuff that we do and that we dig in deep. You know, I know that Kelly and I know that Lou and Paul have all been on, and Jeff have all been on our micro workshops. They've always done training in their expertise area and done a micro workshop with us. And those things have really been the backbone of everything that we do in the Insiders Club. Now, if I were doing it again, I might put that as the last call to action, or maybe the second call to action. In fact, I know that I would have made it the second call to action, because the second call to action was the assessment form that we sent out. The assessment form, if you didn't see the assessment form, I'll pull these things up in a second and show you what they look like. But the assessment form actually is a great pre-qualifier for us. And what happened was people took the assessment, their business assessment, asked, I think there are 5 sections of 5 questions, maybe 6 sections of 6 questions, 6 sections of 5 questions, and you rated them 1 to 10, and people got a free strategy call if their commitment level was at a different, at a certain number, and those ended up being incredibly good for us, because the people who came on and were committed converted to insiders almost immediately. So that was really a good process. Let me just go back over that sheet again with you, and I'll show you. Well, actually, I'll take you to the pages. So, Lou, I want to bring you up first, though.
Here we go.
Tell us about launch experience that you've had, Lou. You always are doing video product.
Yeah, and most of the launches that I've done, actually, I've been a participant or an affiliate for, which I much prefer, because it's a lot less work to copy and paste emails than it is to do your own launch.
So,
but
when you are an affiliate for it, talk about what that means. I mean, how a lot of people like to do the affiliate part versus the launch for exactly the reason you said. You can make a lot of money out of it.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, and the reason I sort of got hooked on it, was because even though I don't have a large list, I was, you know, promoting more aggressively or creatively or doing videos, and I would end up in the top 10 or sometimes even top 5 on those affiliate contests with some big names.
Right.
So that sort of competitive piece of me was like, hey, I want to be up there with those big names like Jeff Walker, so I'm going to do more to promote this and get behind it. The only real downside is you really have to make a commitment to do the whole thing, and it's not like a 2 or 3 email deal. It could be 8 emails and 3 videos by the time you're done.
Yeah, so you have a lot of products of your own.
I do.
And you're really good at the buzz building.
I try and do pretty active on social media and do enough freebies and giveaways and things like that so that when I do have something to sell, hopefully people will realize that it's valuable.
You talk about the things that you do. Give us a little bit of a buzz building lesson here.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm doing something like, I have a product called the 10-Minute Video Trainer, which is a complete ripoff of the Beachbody Tony Horton 10-Minute Fitness Trainer, and I did I really tried to model it after that, right down to the way the logo looks and things like that. So I'll do a lot of sort of social media and graphics and pictures and screenshots and things like that to build buzz on Facebook, and then I'll start to do videos on Facebook, and I get a lot more traction on Facebook than I do on YouTube. And then I'll just start to promote it to, I might leak it out to a few of my VIP lists first, and then build from there. And ironically, on things like that, I don't really do a traditional launch or get affiliates. I just try and do it kind of organically. And then as I roll it out, like I did a webinar with Daniel Hall and some other folks, so I'll do webinars with that as well. And I think Jeff and I did one as well. So it's almost like an ongoing, not like a 2-week thing, just a sort of soft, evergreen launch that I can pull up when I need it and backtrack when I don't.
Cool. So the thing that you're always on everybody wants you promoting for them, and I wanted you promoting for me as well. So that's because you do a really nice job and you do something interesting always. You always create interesting videos, or I've seen myself on the side of trucks and on all kinds of stuff that you do.
Yeah.
For launches that we do, or just even promotions that we do, not specifically launches. So it's been a really good ride for you, and you've taught us a lot in the Insiders Club too. So talk about that a little bit, if you would, what you've been doing in the Insiders Club.
The thing I love, obviously, about NAMS is the community and the access. Pretty much, I said this the other day, but pretty much everything that I do, every partnership, every affiliate thing, is with people from the NAMS community. Jeff, Mike Stewart, Daniel Hall, Janice, Kathleen. Felicia and I have done a lot of stuff together, Felicia Slattery. So the thing is, when you get to be an insider and you get to be, I think you called it the peer group, you're able to sort of play ball with those folks and do a lot of things that you couldn't do by yourself. And the thing I like about it is that I like working with people who are fun and who are my friends. So I get the best of both worlds because we do stuff together and we also make money together.
Yeah, I always wish there was a way that I could just kind of like get a little override on all the business that happens in the Insiders group.
Yeah, that's you need to do the mafia formula of that. The guy upstairs always gets a little taste, a little
I could just
taste
sit in a
wet your
room.
beak. Yeah, you always have to kick it upstairs.
That's right, kick it upstairs. That's it. I guess I'm not from the Northeast. I wouldn't know that. So. All right, so thank you, Lou. And now I'm going to show you guys some of these things that we talked about from the perspective of what our call to actions were. And this one is the assessment. And the assessment turned out to be a really good one. I know that somebody says here that it really held no interest for her. Well, I tell you, it holds a lot of interest for a lot of people, because when you go through this and you plan this out and then you get this, not plan it out, you answer the questions. Basically what it does is you just answer the questions, and we have 5 areas: business foundations, online presence, sales and marketing, team building, business operations, and then the last one is your commitment level. And it really is about your commitment to yourself and to your business. And then when you put in your information, you're opting into the system. And then Sherry says maybe an assessment geared to various experience levels to self-select novice, intermediate, advanced, professional level, which is the 100, 200, 300, and 400 that we have. Guess what, Sherry? This does that. You just don't know it. So when you take the assessment, I get a number. I have measured you based on the questions that you've answered and the answers that you've given. You've given me a number, and the number gives us an idea of where we think you are in the NAMS system. And we tag you in the Infusionsoft with NAMS 100, 200, 300, or 400. And if you notice, the 100, 200, 300, and 400, read these. Let me make this bigger so you can read this at the bottom. Let's see, where is that thing at the bottom? Here it is. I have a business idea but haven't generated any revenue. I am new in my business and just started to create revenue. I've been in business for a while and I'm looking to improve my results and gain more time. My business is established and I want to create a more sustainable business model. So if you remember, this is the definition of our 100, 200, and 300, and 400 groups. So when you choose one of these, you are self-selecting your group that you think you're in. But we also have a number from our assessment above so that we can say, well, you think you're a 400, but what you're telling us is really that you're a 2 or a 3. And so we give you the number and the self-selection that you made in the system so that we can help you maybe get right-sized or maybe get the kind of training that you need, really communicate with you on that level if we do that. So I love this process, and people who take this love this process too. Now I will tell you, I had one person come in and their commitment level was 0, and their score was 0 all the way across, and they wanted to have a free strategy session with me. And I said, well, I think you didn't take the assessment. There's got to be a glitch in there somewhere. Go take the assessment again and we'll take a look. Came back with the same scores, 0, 0, 0, 0. They didn't put anything in here and their commitment was really low. So I said, no thanks. I mean, I'm not going to have a free strategy session with anybody whose commitment is very low. It just doesn't make any sense to do that. It's a waste of my time and it's a waste of your time. If you're not committed to your own business and to yourself, then I really don't have time to do that. I just don't. And you don't either, really. I mean, you could be doing something else. You don't want to do this because you're not committed at all. So that's where the assessment comes in. The assessment really helps us hone in on the people who have the want to, and that's really what it takes, is the want to. So now, I told you guys about traffic. Now this is one of the tools that the Lifetime Insiders get. And this is a brand new tool that we're unloading tomorrow or reloading tomorrow, giving out to our insiders tomorrow, our Lifetime Insiders tomorrow. And it's called the Simple Click Tracker. And basically what we've done is create a tracking system so that you can put in your own links where you want to go. So for example, if I type in here, let's see, who do I want to type in here? I'll type in here Paul Taubman. I can't spell it. I only need one word, sorry. So then it comes up, these are all the links that I have to Paul Taubman's stuff that has his name in the description. So if I keep the names in the description, then it'll show what this is. So you can see that I've had a lot of links, unique clicks to all of these things, but nothing in the last 7 or 1 month, 1 day, 7 days, or 1 month. And that's because these are mostly the workshop items that we use, right? But if I want to go edit these, I just click on this, and I can come in and change this. I can add it to a group. I can create a group and put in my redirect path here and put in the link that it's going to go to, which is usually my affiliate link, which will go in here, and then save it, and I've got a redirect. Now, the reason we wanted to build this ourselves is because there's a lot of tools out there that do this, but for the insiders, we wanted to give them a tool that they could use in the insiders group. For the Lifetime folks, we wanted to make sure that they have this tool that they are able to create their own redirects with. Now, the redirects are, this is really a traffic conversion system. There's a tab that you can't see here that is being completed in the next 2 weeks that will be called conversions. And that tab will allow you to create split testing in groups. It'll allow you to create conversion testing. It'll allow you to follow your Facebook pixels as well as your Twitter pixels or any other tracking pixels that you load in here. And you can create all of your tracking and conversion information from this one spot where you create your own tracking links. And this comes with the MyNAMS Insiders Group. Now, the lifetime version. And that's what we're selling this week, is the lifetime version. So, that is a big one for me. Now, it has a stats tab where you see and you just choose your group and you start filtering, and you can filter all the way down to see what links are in that group and show those stats. And the other thing I wanted to show you on this is the traffic piece of this. You can see here that on 7/20, that was yesterday, we had 6,551 clicks on our stuff. Now that would be everything that is in our system. So people who watched all 3 videos got clicked in there 3 times. That's the blue is total clicks. The red is unique clicks. So yesterday we had 2,054. So there you go. And Sheila says, can you use Link Tracker on multiple sites? And yes, you can. You can add domains here, and you'll see that I have on this domain, you see I have 4 domains here. I have 2 of them to install, and installing them is pretty easy. You just click the install button and it walks you through the process. So the traffic piece of this is awesome. And the reason is that it's incredibly important to measure what you're doing. That's the key to everything, is to measure what you're doing so you can make decisions. And we'll have this in place so that it will be the only place that we need to go once we get that conversion tab in place with all of our conversion information there. So there you go. Now this is for the insiders, and it's in the MyNAMS website, but it'll also be a standalone product that we will sell, and we'll sell it for a lot more than just your basic $27 price. It's going to be a standalone product that'll be on JVZoo and in our affiliate system and elsewhere. So it's one of our many products that we add for folks who are insiders. And by the way, if you look over here at software and plugins, you'll see we have the Simple Click Tracker, the My Smart List, the Simple S3 Video, the Simple One-Time Offer. This is an awesome plugin that allows you to do timed offers and switch between pages. We use that for our December deals, and so you can set up your entire promo, and for our flash sales. So you can set up your entire promo schedule, and it'll run automatically based on this one plugin. I love that. Then we have a couple other things that we haven't put out here yet that people are going to get, but we are actually going to give Lifetime Insiders our affiliate tools page plugin. Thank you, Chris Cobb. And we're going to give them also our X-Brander. And the X-Brander is a redirect, not a redirect, but a brandable report builder that we created that is for any document that, like a PowerPoint or a Word document, where you can actually brand your people. You can send people to your link for your X-Brander, and they can download something that's branded with their affiliate link automatically. So there you go. All right, so let's see. I wanted to show you the. Let me go to my dashboard here and pull up my lead pages thing so I can show you the call to action page that we had, since I'm showing you all of the back end stuff. And there it is. That is, where's our Hangout? Micro Workshop. That's the one I want to show you. This was the big winner in our conversion, and that was basically to sign up people to come to our social media, to build a social media plan. the micro workshop on building a social media plan. Now, this is going to be our March 30-day challenge. And so we have built all of our 30-day challenges already except for this one. This is the last one. And we have the way a 30-day challenge works, I'll show you this in a minute, is pretty cool. We take the micro workshop that we built, which is a deep dive into a topic, and then we do a 30 daily task, 30 daily videos. So this year I have done 390 videos for the 30-day challenges. Now I know that 12 times 30 is 360, but the truth is I've done 390. So just so you know, 390 daily videos this year so that you can go through all 12 of the 30-day challenges. And we do those as a group because we do the training as a group. So in March we will all do social media. In January we will all do Kindle publishing. In February we will all do business operations. Next month we're all doing content creation in August. That's the one that Jeff has been so kind to help us with. And I think we have one that we've done, I think it was May, that is our YouTube marketing that Lou helped us with. And Kelly helped us with the, Kelly and Ellen and Jeff and Lou and Paul and Chris and a bunch of people helped us with the July, which is the list building. It's our massive 30-day challenge that really gets people hopping. So this was the thing that really won our conversion contest, if you call it that. It was the first thing we did in our conversions on our call to actions. It really should have been the second, if not the third, because this first would have been our assessment, this should have been our second, and I think we would have carried through right to the end with a lot more conversions into the Insiders Club launch party. So it is what the cart that you see there is nams.ws/insider cart. nams.ws/insider cart. It's at the top of the chat box. And you can go see that because we want you to take a look at it tonight because during this 2-hour session you can get this NAMS Insiders, MyNAMS Insiders Club lifetime for $599, one-time payment. At the end of this it's going to be $797. Tomorrow night at midnight it goes to $897. Saturday night at midnight it goes to $997. And then on, what is that? Sunday, I think at 10 o'clock, we have another hangout on Sunday at 10 o'clock. It'll go away, basically. The lifetime goes away. We will not offer the lifetime again after Sunday, unless we bring it back for another launch at a much higher price, which we may do at some other point. But it is not going to be available again as lifetime. Beyond that, it'll be $97 a month for the Insiders Club, but not the lifetime. It'll be $97 a month, but not the lifetime version. So I hope that makes sense. You guys,
lifetime is how much right now?
Right now, $599. Right now, at nams.ws/insider cart. And all it is a cart page. I'll even show that to you and explain that to you. The Insiders Club doesn't. The Insiders Club sales page, which I won't send you to, actually shows you a lot of different stuff, but it's not about the lifetime version. And I want you to understand this is lifetime version, period. So you pay this once, you don't pay again for the Insiders Club. That's an incredible deal for people to get this.
Hey, David, if I buy this again, can I get a refund on my original price?
No, Paul, you can't.
Oh.
You can't. You're in the elite program, Paul.
I know.
That's a lot different.
Okay. This is awesome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So, let's see. Tim. Come on mute, Tim.
Okay.
And
Can you
tell
hear me?
people, you've been in the Insiders Club a while, and you actually won our video contest that we did in May. With our, we did a story video, and you did that video. Did you guys on the panel see Tim's video? Anybody see it? It's awesome. So we'll give people the link to go look at that as well. So Phil says $5.99 tonight and no monthly. That's right, Phil. $5.99 tonight, no monthly. That's it. One-time payment, lifetime period. That's it. Okay. So Tim, you've been an insider, and you're a lifetime insider for a while now, right?
I have 3 mugs to go, and then I'm lifetime.
Yep. So
I'm close.
Yep. So tell people what it's like being on the Insiders Club, and how you got there, actually.
Well, it's a community. It's really well. I'm one of the. I guess I'm one of the first insiders helping grow NAMS, and I was on board when that was taking place. So I'm one of the first ones to actually get into it and take advantage of that. And I found that it's a community within the community of the NAMS circle itself. It's been really good for me. I've got out of my comfort zone quite a bit. You talked about that video I made, and
well, when you first came in, you were doing T-shirts, and you had a heck of a T-shirt story, but you really didn't think that an online business was where you want to head, right? You weren't sure.
Well, I wasn't sure how to do it.
Right.
And I was looking for the tools, teams, and training to do it. And so we kind of found each other at the same time, and now I'm in the process of taking that online. And I've discovered through really one of the workshops we had with the storytelling how to tell my story, because I have several stories that revolve around my T-shirts, and those are what are going to sell my business. You know, Jeff's on the panel tonight. He says, you know, facts tell, stories sell.
Right.
And so that's what I'm trying to put those stories together. And doing these monthly challenges, I've found that there's things that I didn't think I could do. And for example, the video, and doing that and putting my story out there on video has been real helpful. And so I'm starting to get more out of that comfort zone and trying to do things that I didn't think I could do. I've done the Kindle challenge. It became a bestseller, which was something I had no idea could ever happen with me. But again, telling the stories has been real beneficial for me.
And when you started doing this, I want to explain you explain your T-shirts a little bit, because your T-shirts are not what we're talking about from the Teespring T-shirts, but your T-shirts are T-shirts that have a cause behind them, right?
Yeah, I got into this with basically doing T-shirts for bike rides, and then the one I've got on tonight, life is more interesting when you're happy. You know, my T-shirts, the ones I want to do, center around a message, and it's not just some catchy thing that's, you know, the current fad out there. I try to find something that's going to resonate with people and something that's going to be more long term. And those messages, what I'm trying to do is I've taken my training and trying to distill it down. It's trying to find a message that will inspire people. So I'm doing T-shirts that inspire. So, you know, I've come a long way from when I first started just saying I'm going to do T-shirts. Now I'm doing T-shirts that inspire. And that's what I'm trying to find, you know, take those shirts, and I have several of them, to where there's a message that revolves around the T-shirt. The T-shirt is just, as Jeff is helping me with this too, the T-shirt's just the wrapper. You know, that's really, there's so much more that can develop out of it. But that's what I'm doing with it. I'm starting with my T-shirts and the message, then I'm going to build things off of that.
Right, right. Okay, good. And so talk about the team part of it, because you become a big part of the team inside of the NAMS community, and also because, well, in fact, well, we'll talk more about that in a second, but one of the things is that you have been able to really build, surround yourself with that whole peer group, resources, and mentors, right?
Right. We have the Facebook group. I don't know if you've mentioned that tonight or not, but the Facebook group for the insiders. And, you know, that's really a good benefit too, because it's a private group, and those of us who are the insiders, we get to participate, you know, anytime we want to. We get in there, and there's people who will answer questions almost immediately when you ask something. You can, as was mentioned earlier too, we can tag the instructors, and we get feedback from them. You know, that's been a real benefit as well. Not only having your peers as far as those who are at the same level you are, but those who have taken it further and are being successful with their business and can teach you other things as well. You get to know them, and then you find out who you might want to work with. And so it's kind of, I don't know if they think of it this way, it's almost kind of an interview process with us sometimes, because you get to see these people and see what they're bringing to the table, and you see who you resonate with and who you might not resonate with.
Right.
And it's been real helpful for me.
So Gene says in the chat box up here, but it doesn't say lifetime on the cart. I'm telling you that it's lifetime until Sunday evening, and then it is not any longer after that. So this price is lifetime that we're giving you tonight, which is the $599 or $597 one-time payment is Lifetime Insiders Club. Kelly has got a doodle. There it is, $599. $599 tonight. It's actually $597, I think, but
Kelly's taking $2 for the artistry.
That's right. That's right. She's got a little tip built in there. Paul, you've been part of our group forever, and you've done something really interesting. We had you on the Insiders Club about 2 weeks ago because you have been an instructor in the NAMS group for a long time, but you also had a full-time job. And you've been building online businesses and doing a lot of work for a lot of folks and making a lot of money online, but you're one of those that I say is in the 400 group, which the 400 group is that you are an online, or you are an online marketer full-time, or could be if you wanted to be, and you were in that position, right? You had a job that was serving you really well, and you went to the full-time. You got rid of your job. Tell them how that happened.
Yeah, so I've always grown up thinking about security as far as steady paycheck coming in and having that there and making sure everything was good for my family. So I've been I was in the insurance industry 30 years, and it was day in, day out, going to work and doing everything that you're supposed to do and collect a paycheck. But it wasn't serving me. Didn't feel right to me. It wasn't, I wasn't doing any training, any of the things that I love to do. And when I started to go online, I started just doing it as it started out almost like a hobby, and it grew, and I started making money. I was like, wow, this is pretty good. And I started to build the business part-time. And I always told myself once I would make the full-time income that I was making at work, when I was doing that part-time, that's when I was going to cut the cord and just do it full-time. And that was working for me because I was building the business, doing everything. For those of you who know me and we're friends on Facebook, everybody would say, oh my gosh, you're traveling all over the place. And that's one of the things that I was doing on my vacation time. I take time off, it was long weekends, and go to conferences and workshops like NAMS twice a year. And I go to other places and learn and further my education and speak and sponsor and get out there and help my business. So I got to a point where I was actually starting to feel like I was working 2 jobs. So I had my full-time job, and now I had this other part-time job, which was full-time. And although I wasn't making all that money, I decided that it was, the money I was making was good enough, and the base that I had built was great, and I gave notice, and things have only gotten better since then. Only gotten better. So I'm happy with that.
So the process, and the reason I wanted you to tell that little story is because you actually did 30 minutes. I mean, one of the things people in that first 3 groups that we have, the 100, 200, 300 groups, they want to get to that place where they actually dump their job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you did it. And so we had you go through the process of what you did because you did it really well. You dumped your job 1 month, and the next month you had a 5-figure income online. So you were really building your business to the point where you could make that seamless transition without just burning all the boats, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it was planned out. It was well thought out. It was one of the hardest things was convincing family members that, when I'm just sitting in front of the computer all day and all night, it's not some weird thing. It's a business, and it will sustain me, and it will help us to live and pay the mortgage and do everything, pay all the bills. So part of the process was from a mindset of knowing that I can do it, a mindset of letting others know that I can do it, and then planning it out financially. What do I need to meet my bills? What do I need to, what's the plan to get to where I want to go? So, having other people to bounce ideas off of and talk about, and, Tim mentioned in the Facebook group, there's great camaraderie, and, even when you say instructors and students, I'm always still learning from everything that happens in there. And so I don't necessarily, I think of myself as a peer to everybody, because at that point we're all learning and we're all helping each other and we're all growing.
That's what we want. That's what we've tried to build in there, so that it is a place that you can hang and learn and continue. That's the reason we have the challenges, and we try to focus everything around the challenges, so that people continue to learn every month. And one of the things I've really enjoyed about the challenges myself is that even if you think you're good at something, you can always get better at it, and you do it every time. So, thanks, Paul. You've been the guy in there who's answered just a gazillion WordPress questions, because that's your expertise, has been your expertise, and building the marketing process through WordPress. And that's one of the essential tools that we tell people that they have to have online. So thanks for doing that.
Sure.
So I'm going to ask, let's see, Ellen, Britt, there you are.
Hey there.
I see you. So Ellen, you've been with us a long time too. I think you've been an instructor at NAMS since like NAMS 3?
I don't even know. Long time.
It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you were on that social media panel we did last week, which was very successful. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. It was fun.
So we were talking about launches. You and Denise Wakeman, did you not do a big launch for the Pink Hotels not long ago?
No, that was Chris Cobb and I.
Oh, it was Chris Cobb and I.
We did a launch recently for an Amazon FBA training course that we did. It was an accidental launch, actually. I don't know. Chris wants to chime in there, but that we didn't really intend for it to be a big launch, and it kind of snowballed a little bit and took us by surprise.
How did it work?
Well, we collaborated. I've known Christine for quite a while, and the last physical NAMS, I went back into the hotel because I had forgotten my headset, and I ran into Christine and asked her how her business was going, and she said, well, actually, I'm doing a lot of selling on Amazon. And so we got into this conversation, and turns out, some of her colleagues and friends have been asking her to do a course, but that's not her thing, but it is mine. And so we had some subsequent follow-up phone calls and stuff, and decided to do this we thought we'd just put together this little beta course, and I don't know, a couple of my colleagues said, well, I would like to come in, I want to promote this, and it kind of snowballed, and we're actually closing our cart tonight, and it was pretty successful, so I'm happy with it. How about you, Christine?
Sorry, I guess I had to unmute.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's going remarkably well. Ellen is awesome, and so that's one of the secrets to doing well, is to be able to partner with somebody who really knows what they're doing.
And so you brought the expertise. I'll talk about the partnership, because I love hearing about partnerships that happen at NAMS, and there's a lot of them that do. So you kind of brought the expertise, right?
For the subject matter, yes.
That's what I'm saying. For the subject
yes.
matter, you brought the expertise.
Yeah, I know nothing about Amazon FBA at all, nothing, but very curious about it.
And you brought to the table, Ellen, what were the skill sets that you brought to the table?
I did all the marketing. I did the sales letter. I set up a preview call. I structured the preview call. I held the preview call. I did everything else. Set up a private Facebook group, and of course Christine did a lot in there too, but Christine is primarily bringing her expertise to the table. She's pretty busy in the Facebook group right now answering questions about Amazon FBA because we've already had one class. But I've taught a lot of classes, I've facilitated a lot of classes, so I brought that facilitation into it too. Our preview call was very successful, and we got a lot of good remarks about that because Christine could relax and just into the structure that I provided, and her expertise just shone through on that preview call because she didn't have to worry about it. And it just really, really worked well.
So, Chris, you were the Amazon thing is actually something you just gotten into last year, or maybe the year before, right?
2013.
Okay. And so you started doing Amazon. You were doing some digital coaching in the past, and then you started doing Amazon, and that snowballed for you, right?
It did. Actually, I started it along with my sister. It was really her business that I wanted to improve upon. So when I found out about how to do Amazon, we talked about it, and we decided to open our accounts at the same time. And I just kind of piggybacked along, but it just mushroomed, and it was kind of right in my wheelhouse, really, because I got to partner with another great marketer, Amazon, which is very nice.
Yeah, you can't beat that, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, NAMS, everything that I've done that's really been successful has been a partnership with people that I met at NAMS.
And tell people how you got to NAMS.
Well, I retired from a long-term career as a CPA and a money manager, and again, my sister jumped in there and told me that I couldn't just sit around and do nothing. So she got me interested in online marketing, affiliate marketing. I never even heard of that before she brought it to my attention. And after a few months of that, I was like, I don't know about this. I think this may be just a big no money down real estate kind of scam thing. So I ended up signing up for a workshop in Atlanta so that I could actually go meet people to see, you know, what they were all about. And that workshop was NAMS 1. So that's where it all began, NAMS 1.
That was almost 8 years ago.
2009. January or February 2009.
Long time ago. Long time ago.
Long time ago.
13 NAMS ago. Yes, it was.
Right.
Okay, so so people are asking a lot of questions about NAMS. One of the things that I have it's always difficult for me to explain what NAMS is. Now, they're talking about the NAMS workshop. The NAMS workshop is a workshop where it's we get together in Atlanta, 300 to 400 people get together. At the last couple of workshops, we've done 13 of these. They're live events. All of these instructors teach. We have like 40 instructors teaching at the same time in 5 different rooms. That's different. That is the NAMS workshop. The MyNAMS Insiders Club is our membership group which supports everything else that we do and keeps people moving from one to the next. One level to the next level, and that's important for us because we want that ascension model. We've talked a little bit about that NAMS 100, 200, 300, and 400, and let me just give you a little recap of what that is. 100 is somebody who is making no money online, but they have an idea for a business. They may not have a blog, or they may have a blog, but they're not making any money online. 200 is somebody who has their niche decided, their business kind of in place. They may be making a sale or two here or there, but not consistently, and they don't know why. 300 is the group where people are making money. They're not full-time yet. They're basically supplementing the family income. They're paying a house payment or a car payment, vacations, or whatever they're supporting with, but that's their deal, and they're working their fannies off. That's the important part about that 300 group. They are working their fannies off. The 400 group is the ones that are full-time online marketers who have everybody else kind of looks at as having made it. But those guys, their deal is they want to build a business that is sustainable, that works without them, and that they can actually get more time. More time is more important to these folks than building more business. They really want to make sure that they can do more and more. Okay, so let's see. We have a couple of questions here. Terry says, I see a lot of regular business people here, but I do intuitive animal coaching. How would it help me to be an insider? I am making the shift to online presence instead of all local work. I'm going to throw that open to you guys. Who wants to answer that question? I see a lot of regular business people here, but I do intuitive animal coaching. How would it help me to be an insider? I'm making the shift to online presence instead of... Paul, you're up. Your hand's up.
So the first thing is a lot of people need to realize that being online is not a business. So you can't say, I'm online and that's my business. Your business is doing something. So if you have an in-person business, if you're providing a product or a service, you are still, that is your business. It's like somebody says, what do you do? eBay is my business. Well, it's just a mechanism or a vehicle, a channel, a medium. Chris was talking about Amazon. You don't have an Amazon business. You have a channel called Amazon that promotes and helps you get your products out there. So regardless of what you're doing, you can still have a presence online that helps drive customers to your business, or that connects you and helps you build a relationship with them. So there, we have all kinds of people that are insiders from all types of businesses, not just what people think as an online business.
Yeah, and I actually love it that we have people who have what are called real businesses, because they're not in the internet make money online niche. They're in the they're there because they're really trying to build a business. We had people who were raising chickens. That's one of my favorites. She was raising chickens in Italy. That was and she was doing really well with it. So she learned to do more online presence with her in that market by doing more article marketing, by doing more ebook building, by getting her name out on social media, all of that stuff. So that to me is a really important point, that the online community in NAMS is all about business, not about make money online. That's not the deal. It's all about building business. Anybody else want to say anything about that? Kelly, would you like to say something about that?
About being about business, not just about being online?
Yep.
Well, but I'm only online, so.
But you have a lot of people who have real businesses, right? They're coaches, or they are.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite clients, Liz Fulcher, is an aromatherapy educator. She's a certified aromatherapist. She has a local business. People travel from all over the country to come and learn aromatherapy from her. She's been doing these in-person classes successfully for years, and we're helping her bring those smarts online to teach them virtually. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So the place, my favorite little jewelry shop in our town nearby here, the guy that my wife grew up with, who was the jeweler in this little town, took his business online, and his local business, his online stuff became so successful in driving traffic to his stuff in the store that his store really just became a pass-through shipping and receiving. He still had people coming in the store, but because he was able to actually get people more focused on what he was offering all over the world, he was able to sell everywhere. Tim, come in.
Sure. Well, I have a real traditional, brick and mortar type business with the T-shirts, and I live in a community of just over 1,000 people, and so getting enough business in my community to provide is not really going to be that easy. The way I look at it is, with the messages I want to do to inspire people, I can broadcast those messages to a much broader audience if I get online. I've seen what these messages have done in my community, and I've seen what they've done into a small community that I'm just have access to outside of online, but bringing it online is the whole thing. and that's what I'm starting to learn by being a part of NAMS, is how to take those business principles but translate them online to get the teams the tools and the training to expand what I'm trying to do, expand my reach.
Yeah, cool. So thanks for sharing that, because you're very much a local business, a localized business until you started doing more online, and now you're branching out a lot. Mike from Ontario says a family that shares ideas and methods will input to becoming the best and overcoming the obstacles we never think of. Glad I just joined. Congratulations, Mike. Glad you're in there too. That's great. Karen, I want you to unmute yourself there, because you are kind of a hybrid here. You still have a job. You're in the Insiders Club. You're what we call our 200 group, right?
Yes.
And
yes, I am.
And what you're doing in the 200 group, you're building a business now, and you are doing mostly offline coaching at this point.
Yes, yes, I am. The thing that I want to say before we talk a little bit more in detail is that the whole NAMS family has encouraged me to become more serious about what I'm doing. I've been out online for about 4 years, but really not being real serious about it, just sort of playing around, just thinking, I guess, that it was just going to all of a sudden become successful. But being in the NAMS group, in the elite group especially, and just being on the Facebook page, and I see so many people who are really taking action and becoming successful. And so that encourages me. It also makes me a little jealous too, to be honest, but in a good way, so that I want to do it too. It's like, if they could do it, I could do it. So it's been very encouraging. I'm in the 200 group. I'm really more probably like 100/200. But I am becoming a lot more serious about what I'm doing. Again, like I said earlier, David has been coaching me, and he has really been helping me to focus on what I need to do. So my business is coaching, life coaching, and just personal development, inspirational, motivational speaking and things like that. So a lot of that I do offline. So what I'm doing now is using the online presence to do maybe more. I want to do more webinars and bring more people together. I use Facebook even for local engagement, and it has been working for me, and a lot of this I've learned from NAMS.
So that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that, because you've been one of our just great students. I really enjoy having you in there. And you're relatively new, probably what, 6-8 months, something like that?
Yeah, it has not even been a year. But once I got in, I had shiny ball syndrome, so I've been in a lot of different things. But once I got in this group, and I realized that these folks were really serious. They were very transparent and really trying to help me, really seriously help me out. And so I just jumped all in and became a elite member, lifetime. So I have no way out now.
Yeah, and I want to say something about that. And I'm not going to embarrass you, and I'm not going to use numbers or anything like that. But one of the first things you said to me really stuck, and that was that you had just completed another program that you paid like 4 times what you were paying with us.
Yeah, more than 4 times.
And the thing that I remember you said to me was that this was more actionable content, more stuff to move you forward quickly than that entire program, from somebody who's a huge name in the business.
Yes, it's absolutely true. I thought that I was getting something really great at that time until I got with NAMS, and then I realized, oh my goodness, these folks are really doing the work. Where before, the other group, it was just really a lot of fluff, unless you were willing to pay a lot more money to get it.
Right. Well, thank you for saying that. So Kelly just put that little $5.99 thing up there again, and I want to make sure that I give people an idea of what we're doing here. So let's see. Mary joined this morning on our monthly, it looks like, and the monthly was offered today until this started at $77 a month. That was for the lifetime, and that's a 12-month payment. That's not offered anymore. After we get off tonight, it's $97 a month for the lifetime if somebody wants to do the lifetime monthly. We'll have that available for them, $97 a month. It'll also be $7.97 one-time payment, but right now during this thing, it's $5.97 to get in. Now, if Mary wanted to switch, or if anybody who is into the monthly payments wanted to switch to this payment system, just send us a note at the support desk, and that's at, what is that, support@namsupport.com, and Cindy will help you get that done. So it can be switched over if you want to do that. Cindy can help you get that done. Now, let's see. Jean said, if I join as a lifetime member, can one of my team members be in the Facebook group also? I'm sorry, Jean. This is a sweet deal for one person. It's for you, really you as the person who's doing the learning. If you want to have somebody else in there, we do have somebody who had bought 5 memberships, and we made a deal for them to get 5 memberships because she had 5 people on her team that she wanted to get in there. But it's training for everybody, so it's not something we do multiples on. And let's see. Tim, you said something in a message there that I wanted you to say out loud, okay?
Sure. Well, I don't know if you remember our first interaction.
I do. I was thinking you would come back to that.
Okay. Well, I wanted to make sure. I was listening to one of your webinars, and I forget now how I found out about you, but I remember thinking during the webinar, I don't have an online business. And I said, how can I translate T-shirts to online? And I remember just messaging you and Jennifer in the chat saying, can I talk to you afterwards? And you said, sure. And that impressed me a lot because, you know, how do you get access to the CEO of a company just by asking? And so our first conversation, you know, you said, well, here's how we can do that. And you invited me to NAMS and to do T-shirts and all that kind of thing. But it impressed me the fact that I could talk to you and get answers right away. And I think that's really turned into the NAMS assessment. And I would encourage people to take that assessment because they will end up getting access to you if they show a commitment level that, you know, warrants that. And I think that's really a good thing to do. So you get access not only to you, but then within the group itself, you get access to the instructors. And I think at the workshop itself, you can sit down and have a meal with the instructors, and that kind of access is priceless because of what it can give you, just as far as the interaction and learning information, but also just building more camaraderie. So, you know, I just wanted to thank you again for that because that's what got me into it, because you said yes when I asked if I could talk to you.
Well, I appreciate that, and I remember that conversation because you had put a couple of messages in the chat about having an offline business, and you didn't think it was right for you, and you weren't sure, you know, how you were going to do it. And so when we talked, and you said that you had a T-shirt business, and you just didn't see how you could take it online, and we talked for about 30 minutes probably, and
right.
And I was first off, I was incredibly impressed with your story because you told me the story that night of the tornado. And I put the link in here earlier to Tim's video that he did for our challenge. It's, I think it's nams.ws/NAMSLove is what it was. And it's an excellent video about a tornado that really kicked off Tim on this T-shirt path for doing T-shirts with a cause. And we talked about what a great online opportunity that was for him, just to build to his own offline business. So thanks, Tim. So I'm going to answer some questions here about the Insiders Club, and I'm going to ask you guys to help me clarify this as we go. So when we talk about what do you get in the Insiders Club, actually, if you don't mind, I'm just going to bring up the Insiders Club, if I can find it. The Insiders Club dashboard so we can talk about it. And I'll tell you what's in the Insiders Club dashboard. So when you become an insider, you see this new link at the top says MyNAMS Insiders Club at the MyNAMS site. And on the dashboard, you see that we have different areas. This is the 30-day challenge, the micro workshops, the Insiders Facebook group, laser coaching. That's coming up this Friday. We do laser coaching once a month at the end of the month. I do 3 hours, open mic basically. People come in and ask questions, and if they have a coaching issue, we can jump right in there and get an answer to your issue or help you with a direction, whatever you need. That's been really successful. People feel like they get heard. They get a lot of success in this area. Then we have the custom tutorials, and we have custom software. The NAMS dashboard, JV Facebook group, the weekly Q&A. On Thursdays, for 45 minutes or an hour, we get together and the insiders can ask questions about anything, or we can go forward and I'll do a little training on something that's happening behind the background there. So in the background of the Insiders Club. I mean, of the Insiders business, of the MyNAMS business. That's one of the things that we use. Let's see. Kat says, do you need to be an insider to buy the OTO plugin via MyNAMS? The OTO plugin is actually not for sale. The insiders, it will be for sale, but it's not for sale now. The insiders get that. The insiders get the special offer plugin. That's one of the custom software apps that we have, and I'll show you in a little more detail, but I wanted to get over these. The NAMS assessment, we talked about. The tutorial library is something we don't talk about a lot, but when I did a survey of our members, this was huge. They loved this because it's 1,300 plus videos that are technical videos on how to do different things, such as FTP, those kind of things. You get 50 PLR articles a month on 5 different niches, 10 articles a month. You can download those. We have a graphics gallery where you can go and pick up graphics that we add to all the time, you know, for like buttons and sales items and bullet points and those kind of things where you can, and banners and backgrounds and all of that. So you can get all of that in the graphic gallery, and same with the audio gallery. We have almost 1,000 royalty-free audios that you can download and use in any of your projects. So we try to give you everything that you need to go forward. I'm going to just click into the 30-day challenge here, and you see this is this month's list building challenge, and we have day 1, day 2, day 3. We have the this one was big. We did a planning section, which was special, so that you could do everything you needed to do to get set up with your list building efforts. Then we had to start here. We had like day 1 was what? This is about expert interviews with Lisa Ray Preston, and then you get the resources and the PDFs from all of these as well. The resources here, and then the calendar of what that event is and when the Hangouts were and all of that. So the challenges change every month, and they're really the key to everything that we do to try to move you forward in your online education or improving the business that you already have. And a lot of folks do that. Even if they have an online business already that's successful, these challenges help you move forward. And so we do a ton of training in here. And so you can see this is a lot of work that we get done for you. So, and that you follow along. Then we add the micro workshops. And the micro workshops we have, like the one that we did on Thursday with the social media. We have the advanced affiliate marketing with Connie Reagan Green. Same format. 2 hours and 2 hours. 2 hours discovery in the morning, 2 hours implementation in the afternoon, with a lot of resources and pieces to use in that. So what are the tools that you need? Give you a mind map, a checklist, all of that stuff. The advanced list building with John Cornetta. Monetize your life with storytelling. This is one of the things that I did that people love about storytelling and using a template for telling stories. Outsourcing solutions, simple product creation, partner paydays. This is affiliate marketing. Leveraging JV, partnerships, brandable reports, creating membership sites, niche automation, and much more. We have several that still have to get up because we're still migrating stuff over from our old system. And then we have, on our dashboard, you come back, and I have the Facebook page up here. Here's the Insiders group. Starts here. Paulette joined today, and Paulette is here. She's in the UK, and she did a nice little thing where she introduced herself and said, "Hello, I'm new." And she's already gotten a bunch of comments, a bunch of people engaging with her. We like to celebrate wins. So we ask people to comment all the time about what's working for them and what they've done that really works well. So Sheila, this is an example, Sheila is doing a new project where she's creating pictures that are going to be memes that she's going to sell as a bundle. And she's asking questions and getting feedback, and she's getting lots of feedback. 25 comments so far. Vivian is asking about Aweber blog broadcasts, using them or not. David Bear, who has joined, I think it was 13 months ago, and was on our social media thing. This is our list building month, and he says in our list building, let's see, that he's doing some interesting stuff. His business is moving forward with list building, and he shows that he's getting many more people signed up to his stuff. And people are congratulating him because he's doing really well. Same with Brad Reed. I get some really interesting, some great, I get some great opportunities sometime because I get to see people who come in and maybe they have been floundering a little bit. Maybe they're kind of stuck at a spot. And then they move and they get moving, and we get to help them move, and that is so much fun. I get to see people hit it, and then all of a sudden stuff starts clicking, and that's when it's a lot of fun because they get infectious enthusiasm, and it really gets me going, and it gets everybody else going too. Kathy, I'm going to bring you up here. You're in the dark a little bit, but I'm going to. I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me? Yeah. Tell us how you got involved with NAMS and the MyNAMS Insiders Club and what you've been doing.
You know, I'm really not sure how I got involved.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, but I ran across it, and one of the things that the Insiders Club has done is given me focus. Sorry about the echo.
That's not bad.
It's given me a lot of focus. I'm one of these people that starts things and then doesn't finish them, but starts something else with a bright, shiny object. And I am now much more focused. I love the Insiders group, and it really moved me forward, especially in getting the videos done and getting some programs up and some Kindle books done that I just wouldn't have done before. It's the best deal in town for me. Of course, now I've moved up to Elite, and that's given me even more focus. So I am so thankful.
Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. Glad you're in there. You've been a great help to all of us, too, and it was fun to watch you during the Kindle Challenge in January because you were knocking it out of the park. I think you did 3 Kindle books that month.
I did.
Yeah, so speaking of that, that was another one of those fun challenges where we did a Kindle Publishing Challenge, and we had instructors like Kristen Eckstein and Brian G. Johnson who came in and taught our folks about Kindle publishing. And people jumped on that. They had to write a book, get it formatted, and then get it published on Kindle and drive traffic to it all in 30 days. And we actually had 42 people who did that. I was just astounded that we were able to get that many people to follow that challenge all the way through that month. It was very gratifying for me and a lot of folks on there. So the other thing I wanted to talk about on here, and I'm going to show you, is, if I can get to it, is the custom tutorial, or actually the custom tutorials piece. Is these are tutorials on topics and tools that we don't think there is a lot of specific information on. Some of these sites have their own tutorials systems in place, but we try to go out and help you understand these in what we call lessons in less than 3 minutes. So every lesson in one of these tutorials is in less than 3 minutes. So they're very focused, task-oriented tutorials. So for example, FreeMind is a system that we use a lot. It's free to everybody. So if you click on that, you're going to go to that tutorial system, and you'll see that they are all videos here. Discover the menu bar, view maps for FreeMind, how to download it, how to use it, the insert tab, all of these things, and they are basically, when you click on that video, it starts, and it's a Very fast lesson based on that one topic, and it walks you through the entire process. And these have become really popular as well, and we have not sold these yet, but we will. We built them all out for our insiders over the last year, and we've got at least a dozen of these now. Let's see, what else do I want to show you? The library is the one other thing I wanted to show you, the tutorial library. This is not pretty, but it's incredibly functional. So when we look at all of these, you see all of these different tutorial categories here. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger so you can see what we've got going here. These are, for example, FTP. When I got started online, it took me probably a year to figure out what FTP was, because it was just a concept I couldn't understand. And it's very simple, but I was making it, like I do a lot of things, very complicated. So FTP is about file transfer protocol. It's moving files from your computer to your server. So if you're using FileZilla or any of the tools that we have listed here, you just click on the one that you're using and you've got a tutorial that shows you how to use it. So this is, let me get this back smaller so you can see it. This is configuring your files with FileZilla. So it walks you through the process of how to use FileZilla to configure your system. And these have audio, you just can't hear them. And the audio basically is a repetition of what's in the yellow box. It just repeats that, though. So these have been really helpful for people. And they can find just about anything. Configuring email. SMTP was another thing that really got me, was how to configure email in Outlook and all those places to make it work. I got good at it, but I hated it. And I always came back to this because it would walk you right through the process. Using cPanel, if you host your own stuff, we have cPanel options here for you to look at and use. There are different versions of cPanel here. If you use an open source cart, you have all that there as well. Let's see, Drupal, if you decide to use Drupal, God bless you. Use WordPress, we have that as well in here. Facebook 2015, how to use Facebook. Fantastico is a piece of software that's inside your cPanel that you can use to install different pieces of applications, different applications that you actually find in here. So for example, there's Drupal, there's Nucleus, B2 Evolution. Those are also in these tutorials as well. And then we have the gallery series. Let's see. Some of these you will never use. Most of these you won't use, but when you need them, you will want them. Like iPad email, how to set up your iPad and iPhone email. That's useful. LinkedIn, that's useful. This is the current. This is the old. Mozilla Firefox. Let's see. We have Photoshop in here. PayPal, 31 videos on using PayPal, creating subscription buttons, all of that, Photoshop, and let's see. Depending on your host, you might find a lot of these tools in your host. For example, Squirrel Mail, Thunderbird Mail, those are all open mail systems that you might find in your hosting system, and your host may be using WHM. So there's WordPress, YouTube, Zencart, all of those. So that is just a wealth of knowledge, and there's a lot of videos there. So it's good for you. If there are any other questions, the laser coaching is only live one Friday a month. Terry asked about that. The laser coaching is open on Friday. We may end up doing an additional one in the evening, but it depends on how many people. I'm waiting to get some run over from these laser coaching sessions to see if that's needed. So let's see. Kelly is showing me something again on here that says it is $597 for lifetime. Now this is going to close really shortly, so if you haven't done it, do it. Now's the time. You go to nams.ws/insider cart.
This reminds me a little bit about my days at the Muscular Dystrophy Association telethon. I feel like someone should break out in song.
Okay, go for it.
Not me.
No? Okay, good, good. All right. All right, so, we are going to close this in like 2 minutes. So, and then the price is going to go to $7.97. So, if you are going to take advantage of this, you want to do it now. So that's what I wanted to tell you, and I'm really glad you were here. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for learning about our launch and what we went through. And the launch was a lot of fun. I learned a ton, and we're going to do it. We're going to continue to have this launch going on through the week. One of the other things I didn't mention is that insiders are always affiliates. So insiders are invited to use their affiliate link. Karen, are you excited about that?
Yes, I haven't started yet, but I plan to.
Good. I'm glad you're going to. John?
I'm excited.
You're excited. Good. So our affiliate program is a passive income program, which means that when you promote people, you will refer them for life. So that's it. Thank you again for being here tonight, and you've hung in with us for the entire 2 hours. We really appreciate you being here. It was nams.ws/insiderscart. We'll leave it up there, Cindy, for about 10 minutes, okay? $5.97 for the Lifetime Insiders Club. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Enjoy it. Thank you.
Party on.